Hello guys, and welcome back to another one with us, the Review Bros, and today we're going to be taking a look at XPLODE pre-workout by the guys over at Cymax Nutrition. You may or may not have noticed if you've been staying tuned with our channel, I've been covering a lot of these type of pre-workouts. Could this be the best one of the bunch in terms of the buy off the shelf, you know, out of your local shop style pre-workout? That's what we're going to be finding out together as we cover the usuals, taste, price, label, effects. Is it going to be worth it for you? And if you're new to our channel, please do hit the like button, hit the sub button, tick the bell icon, so we drop about 3 reviews a week. But let's get into this one. First segment, taste and mixability. So what do we think? We've got tropical flavour. Also comes in blackcurrant and sour watermelon. I probably would go for this one as a consumer, hence why I've got it. So let's see how it tastes. Mixability wise first, it has been settled for a minute or two, but all things considered, probably still a bit above average. But then again, it is, in the grand scheme of things, a smaller serving amount compared to most pre's. But let's see how it tastes anyway. Very strong tasting. There's a lot of flavouring in there for sure. You know, I could use more water to dilute it a little bit, so you do have that option. It does taste tropical. There's not really any nastiness coming through on the back end. No chemical undertones, nothing like that. It's just a very forthcoming, potent, tropical flavour, like a squash. But I think in future I will water it down a little bit more just for my own personal preference. But one more sip and I'll give you a score out of 10. Yeah, it's just a nice, sweet, tropical flavour, simple as that. Like I said, bit on the strong side, but not bad. I'd be happy to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Like, it is pretty decent in the grand scheme of things. But then again, there's not too much to mask in the label. So, one of those. Let's move on to price. Okay, price time. So you'll head over to the official Cymax Nutrition website down below, where you'll find it on there for £12.99. It's a 20 serving tub, a full 20 servings. There's no 40-20, nothing like that. Straight down the line, 20 serving container. Nice and simple, 65 pence a go. Now we have a consistent price scale that measures how expensive pre-workouts are on the market, where a 5 out of 10 is around about your average price point, where this comes in at a 10 out of 10. So it's priced better than most pre-workouts on the market. So what type of pre are we actually going to be getting for that money? Is it going to be good bang for buck or not? Let's find out together now. Okay, label time. So what exactly are we getting for that incredibly good price point? So we got ourselves a 15 gram serving amount, which is probably on the lighter end in the grand scheme of things, although we have definitely seen lighter serving amounts, but then again, that's not always the make or break factor, but we do like to comment on it anyway. So it's on the lighter end in the grand scheme. So first up, we've got citrulline malate. We don't know if it's 2:1 or 1:1, but either way, we're getting 6 grams. Normally companies state if it's 2:1 because obviously it's the better scenario, and companies wouldn't want to disclose it if it's a 1:1 ratio, because obviously that means you're getting less L-citrulline. So we have to assume that it is a 1:1 ratio if the company's not telling us. So what does that mean? That means we're going to be getting 3 grams of L-citrulline and 3 grams of malic acid. 3 grams of L-citrulline is the absolute bare minimum of getting the job done in terms of bumping up your nitric oxide levels, increasing blood flow and pump. So at least we're getting something, because all the other pre-workouts that I've reviewed recently from similar kind of companies and brands that are available to buy from retail stores off the shelves were just pitiful doses of L-citrulline, to the point where it won't do anything. So at least in this scenario, we are getting a dose that's going to at least do something. Then we've got beta-alanine at 3.2 grams. I'm liking it so far, I'm liking it. We're getting sufficient dosages to some degree. Beta-alanine, another amino acid, it gives that itchy tingling sensation when it kicks in, but the reason we like it is because it helps with your endurance when it builds up in your system and you reach that saturation point. And we do take it most days, so we'd like to think that we do yield that benefit ourselves. But yeah, 3.2 grams, nice amount. You can take up to sort of like 6.5, 7 grams a day, but I don't think many people do that because you'll be itching your eyeballs out. But at 3.2 grams, we should still be getting some itches and tingles, so look forward to that, you know, whether or not you like it. Then we've got trimethylglycine, which is a fancy way of saying betaine anhydrous at 1.5 grams. We're dipping a little bit here. We like to see at least 2 grams, ideally 2.5 or more. That's a jack of all trades ingredient in that it helps with your endurance, your power, your strength, your pumps, all that good stuff. It's just a good all-around ingredient to have in a pre. Then we've got taurine at 500 milligrams. Again, we're dipping a little bit here. We like to at least see a gram, but it should still do something, similar to how the beta and the hydra should still do something. Taurine, jack of all trades amino, helps with your hydration, your pumps, your focus levels, and your energy production. Then we've got the focus complex at L-tyrosine 500 milligrams. Again, we're dipping a bit on the lower end. It's just a shame that they didn't just finish the trend that they started with the first couple of ingredients in terms of the dosing. But yeah, 500 milligrams is around about half what we'd like to see as a minimum. Like to see about a gram, obviously. Amino acid helps with your focus and concentration and mood. Then we've got caffeine at 250 milligrams, respectable indeed. That's stronger than a relatively strong energy drink. It's also about 2 to 3 cups of strong coffee. So it's no slouch where the caffeine's concerned. Do note that it's not caffeine anhydrous though, it's just normal caffeine, so it should be a little bit smoother than if it was anhydrous, which is obviously a dehydrated, faster acting form. Then we've got choline bitartrate at 200 milligrams. This is where it is taking a dive now. I can't stick up for it anymore, I'm sorry. It's a poor form of choline because it doesn't cross the blood-brain barrier, or at least it struggles to. 200 milligrams is a very small dose. So we've got an ingredient that doesn't do too much and a poor dose, so it's not going to do much of anything. We'd like to see at least a gram of it in that form, or better yet, alpha GPC or citicoline are better forms of a choline donor, but it should help with your focus and concentration levels, getting your brain fired up and ticking over. Similar to L-tyrosine in that sense, nootropic action. Same can be said for DMAE bitartrate 200 milligrams. Again, it's not the best ingredient because it struggles to cross the blood-brain barrier, so not too much effect there, and it is a small dose in the grand scheme of things. So yeah, it's just a shame that it started off strong and it's starting to dip a little bit now, but that again should help with focus. But will it at that dose and that ingredient selection? Probably not, or extremely minimal. Then we've got the energy support complex where we've got vitamin B3, B6, B12 and magnesium. So we've got our vitamins and minerals there, just going to help to tick your body over, get it functioning as you should, help with your hydration, help to fire your muscles, all that good stuff. It's always good to have it in a pre, but I think they are being a bit cheeky here, giving it its own complex and making out that it's this big thing, because in the grand scheme of things, you don't really feel it as such. It's a very much background thing. You're not going to take your vitamins and suddenly feel like Superman, put it that way. So yeah, it's nice that it's in there, but it's not necessary really. The niacin as vitamin B3 might interact with the beta-alanine in terms of bringing on a bit more itchy, tingly, niacin flushing kind of redness sensation to fire you up. Again, very much Marmite sort of effect there. Some people love it, some people hate it. We quite like it because it increases that sense of urgency to get you down the gym. Then we've got the bioavailability complex, black pepper extract 5 milligrams. Nice to have it in there. I don't think any of the other pres I've reviewed recently that are on this level of price point have had that. So it's a nice touch. It will help get all those ingredients through you as quickly and efficiently as possible, because obviously we've got a certain window of time to get it all firing before we start training, right? So overall, I like the label. I do think you're getting a good pre for the money based on the label. It's just a shame that they didn't up the ante with some of those ingredients, particularly in the focus complex. You know, I'd rather just pay an extra 20p per serving or whatever and have those dosages doubled. Not so much the caffeine, obviously, but the other bits. Or bring the ingredients up to date to more efficacious ingredients that are more effective. But anyway, let's get into the real world effects, and we'll work out together if it's actually worth it in the first place. Okay, let's get into the real world effects of XPLODE pre-workout. And I've just noticed on the front it says muscle power, workout for longer, and expert formula. I will have to question the last quote on there. I wouldn't say that that's an expert formulation, not even slightly. But there we go. I suppose I have to say that to keep the hype up. Oh, and it also is vegan and vegetarian, for whatever that's worth. So yeah, use this one a good few times now. So what do we think? Let's start off at the beginning with the beta-alanine. It comes in strong. As to be expected, it comes in stronger than any of the recent pres I've reviewed, if you've been following along. So this one, on a tingle scale of 1 to 10, I would say comes in at a strong 7. Like, it definitely gets you itching and tingling, gets you fired up to get you moving. So we like that. I can understand that some beginners and some people that just generally don't like the sensation might be a bit put off. Obviously, if that's the case, this pre wouldn't be ideal for you. But we do have it in there and we like it. The caffeine follows as the only stimulant in here, obviously, at 250 milligrams, which is about 100 milligrams less than what you would see in most pre's on the market these days, so it's slightly on the more conservative end. But swings and roundabouts, whether that's your bag or not, it all depends how sensitive you are to caffeine and how much caffeine you really want to ultimately be taking in one sitting. But you feel it. It's the equivalent of a strong energy drink. Like, you definitely do feel it, don't get me wrong. It gets you perked up, woken up, gets you moving. Lasts about an hour and a half and then it's gone, so it doesn't outstay its welcome. I didn't personally experience any crash with this product. There was no peaks and troughs in the energy, so it was very consistent and smooth. It enabled me to have a good session every time I used it. I had enough energy to get through most gym days. It does struggle a little bit on the longer days, as to be expected. You know, your leg days and back days where you're really grueling out those last few sets. But overall, energy was okay. I would say, in the grand scheme of things of all pre's, it's slightly below average energy. 4 out of 10. Focus. The focus was okay. It's just a shame. It could have been a lot better if they'd really dug in deep with the label and increased some of those dosages. But the focus was sufficient. I think a lot of it you are getting off the back of the caffeine, don't get me wrong, and maybe that beta-alanine tingle and all that sort of thing gets you dialed in to some degree, in a placebo kind of way. It was enough to keep you on the ball and keep you focused through your training session. You know, we're not morons here, we know how to train. So you don't need, it's not like you need to be on Adderall or modafinil to get through a gym session, is it? But yeah, it was okay. It would be fine for beginners, I'm pretty sure of it. Now let's talk about the pumps, because this is the first pre, out of all of the budget ones I've been reviewing, where I've actually felt some benefit where it concerns the pumps. So I would say the pumps were actually average, maybe even slightly above average, in that realm. So all the other pre's I mentioned, basically nothing on the pump side of things. So you are going to be getting some benefit where the pump endurance side is concerned. So that's nice that we're actually getting that element with this pre-workout, especially for that price point. Negatives wise of the pre, there aren't any. So, you know, no ill feeling jitters, no missing meals for appetite suppression, didn't keep me up all night, no nastiness associated with it whatsoever. It's very consistent and predictable. It's perfect for beginners, it's perfect for people on a budget. Stim junkies, quite obviously, it's not going to do anything. So I'd honestly recommend it to people, and I would say out of avoid, shortlist and buy, I would actually say buy it if you're on a budget, believe it or not. Because I think that is a reasonable price point for the level of pre you're getting. Because with this one, you're getting what you actually get from it in the real world, you know, label aside, you feel the strong beta-alanine tingles, that gets you moving right off the bat. You feel the caffeine hit, a sufficient, decent amount of caffeine you feel. You get the pumps from the citrulline and the other bits and pieces. It gets the blood flow moving. You get, like I said, you build up relatively decent pumps on this pre-workout. So this feels like more of a fleshed out, fully fledged pre compared to a lot of the other ones that just felt like glorified energy drinks, I suppose. But this one definitely stands a bit above the other aforementioned ones. So yeah, this one I can actually recommend. But there are also other pre's on the market for, you know, if you really want to go more down the route of getting better dosages for your nootropics, for the focus, and a bit more for your pump and a little bit more for your energy. There are other pre's that you can get for a little bit more on the price point, and you can acquire that. But I do think, like I say, 65p a go, you're getting a okay pre for the money. For the money, that must be understood. If we remove the price point, obviously I'm not going to recommend it, am I, if I pretend that's not a factor. So you just have to basically keep an open mind with these types of pre-workout. So yeah, guys, it could definitely be worse, but it could also be a lot better. Citrulline malate, I would say up that to 8 grams, make it a 2-to-1 ratio, perfect. Beta-alanine's fine. Beta-anhydrous, 2 to 2.5 grams. If we could increase that, that would be great. Taurine, whack that up to 1 gram, perfect. L-tyrosine, whack that up to 1 gram, perfect. Choline bitartrate, swap out for citicoline at say 300 milligrams, 250 milligrams. I know this is going to make the label more expensive, I know that, but I'm sure they can move some things around to keep it still relatively budget whilst being clinically dosed and beyond. DMAE, I would just throw that out. There's no point having that in there. Save a bit of money for whatever that's worth. The B vitamins and minerals, whatever, fine, leave them in. And the black pepper extract, great. So out of all the pre's, this is the one that needs least doing to it. but it does still need some tweaks to really bring it up to the full potential of what it could be. But yeah, like I said, it's hard to complain about this one for the money. I can recommend it. That's my experience. Let us know if you've used it down below. Anything else you want to see us review. And as always, stay stim.